Professor Danylchuk, given your education, what do you feel is the importance of large riparian buffer zones with respect to aquatic flora and fauna, and what potential impacts coincide with their harvesting?
Riparian buffer zones are sort of underappreciated in their role of protecting flora and fauna from terrestrial impacts. Aquatic or riparian buffers around lakes and streams really act as first a filter for nutrients and other things that would potentially be flowing into aquatic ecosystems. But then they also offer really important habitat for sort of as an ecotone in terms of transitional habitat between terrestrial and aquatic ecosystems. Corridors around streams in particular offer really good shade for streams, so they keep the water temperature sort of buffered. That in itself is sort of an important factor when we start thinking about the removal of riparian vegetation around. Some of the work that I was involved in for my PhD was looking at the effects of different buffer strip widths around lakes, and our experimental setup was looking at different buffer strip widths, a 20 meter, 100 meter, 200 meter buffer strip that are left around a lake, and buffering against the inland sort of disturbance, which was forest harvesting. And we're really quite concerned about the potential impacts of those clear cuts on the aquatic ecosystems, on not only the fish, but then the hydrology, the nutrient dynamics that would thus affect things like primary production and algal blooms and potentially winter kill. We do see that there are potential impacts associated with the loss of fish in lakes. The sources of eutrophication are nutrient input from terrestrial sources, agricultural runoff, we see eutrophication caused by upland forestry practices where the plants are no longer there to intercept the nutrients or to control nutrient dynamics, and we see a lot of the nutrients being flown into aquatic ecosystems. We do see, some of the costs associated with eutrophication would be like people trying to spend lots and lots of money, removing aquatic macrophytes from their lakes. We see that a lot around here, where invasive plant species get in, and because of a lot of the nutrient dynamics, and the lakes are nutrient rich, the aquatic macrophytes take over, and so it might not be necessarily a cost associated with controlling eutrophication, but it's the cost associated with trying to get rid of the aquatic plants that are doing things like impeding, boat use. When they break off and die, it gets kind of smelly. So there are other sort of other impacts that are related to nutrient enrichment that we kind of overlook sometimes.
A way to lessen all the potential problems that come with lake eutrophication due to riparian buffer strip harvesting is to only purchase wood for construction that is responsibly harvested. A way to go about doing this is to look for lumber that is FSC certified. FSC will have gone through all the necessary processes to ensure that the lumber they certify limits ecological degradation.